Hello, my name is Christopher Scott Jones, also known on the internet on YouTube as Messenger Christopher Spirit World X, the Mahdi. 51 years ago, I was born somewhere between Florida State and Pennsylvania State. I born to Mrs. Marilyn Lubiano. After experiencing the normal traumas of urban life in America as an African American man, and having many nights of staring out the window, not actually even being aware of what I was staring at. After the victory of having my mother healed of asthma, myself being healed of asthma at 7 years old, my mother 28, 29. After experiencing the visitation of an angel, after many other unbelievable experiences, and of course many horrible ones like sexual abuse and psychological abuse and psychological trauma, and of course alcohol and drug addiction and confusion on every level, around every corner, only to end up at the end of the line of suicide. I now present to you, all across America and the world, the revealing, and that would be the revealing segment of the worldwide paradigm shift. What I'd like to do is tell you, of course, how it is I came upon, or the book of life. The book of life came upon me. And of course, at 33 years old, that's when this unbelievable odyssey and moment began. And what I'd like to do before discussing those unbelievable moments from a first-hand basis, I would like to fast forward. So from 33 to 45 years old. We're going to fast forward to 45 years old. That is, of course, 12 years after the beginning of my enlightenment process, where I was being, of course, trained, educated, as you can see here, and we will go over this, in the ways of our electrochemical immortal life support creation matrix program. So we're going to start here with an eyewitness to specific events that correlate directly to the story I'm going to tell you. This individual you'll be hearing is my mother, Marilyn Lubiano. She's an awesome woman. Right now she's in a nursing home. She does the best she can with her health. She's a very spiritual person. Despite being born with a mixed bloodline, she has certainly been one of the most important facets of all of our lives, and that is a spiritual person, because she has helped to sustain the negative energy that existed not only in her, but in her family and community for as long as she has been a spiritual person. And that's been all my life. So I'd like you to have an opportunity to get a bird's eye view of the powers that exist in me that can also exist in you. And of course, they exist with my mother as well. So enjoy the music and enjoy the conversation you're about to hear. Because afterwards, I'm going to come right in with the Book of You, the explanations, and more surprises. Alright, are you there, Mom?
Yeah.
Alright, I wanted to ask you a couple questions. Where are you at right now? You up at the nursing home in Oakmont?
Yeah, something's there.
Excuse me, I gotta clear my throat. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to clear my throat. That's why I sounded so high. So, you say you're still up in Oakmont, right?
Yeah.
So, Mom, I was telling you a little bit about what I'm planning on doing here very shortly. I told you in another couple days that, there are going to be some miraculous things that are going to transpire. Remember I told you that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, now these miraculous things that I'm talking about, they're directly related to that time in the kitchen that I was telling you about earlier, that you said you vaguely remember. You kind of remember when I had told you something, these hot orbs entered my back and I was jumping around the kitchen. I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
And you remember I started to write all of this stuff down. You remember all the stuff I wrote down over the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, all of those papers have culminated into something that I believe the world's been waiting for, and you're going to be just happy with yourself, and I want to say that I love you for, making me as knowledgeable as you have, along the way to what I now have, and I wanted to also ask you, that's what I wanted to talk about, the zoo. I remember that we went to the zoo one time, and remember who was with us at the zoo that day? Do you remember? Your mind good enough? Huh? I didn't hear you, Mom.
I said it's me and you.
I thought there was somebody else with us. Wasn't India there?
Me and you, man.
Just me and you?
No, someone else was there that we knew.
I know.
I knew who it was.
Yeah, I think it was India. I think it was India that was there. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, okay. So anyways, you remember what happened, how many times the animals in the zoo, when we walked by them, they were freaking out?
They weren't freaking out.
Well, I called it freaking out. They started to act funny, all the animals.
No, they were acting up. And then when I got...
Wait. What do you mean they were acting up? I just said they were acting up. That's what I'm asking you.
No, with other people, Chris.
Okay, so...
Acting up and going crazy with other people that was in front of the window. And when me and you got up there, they stopped and they came up to the window. It was looking in at us.
Oh, okay. You're saying that the other people had the animals acting up. And
Yeah,
as
and then
soon
when they
as...
saw us, they stopped and they all hopped over to us.
They all hopped over and ran to us. Turn that off, please.
Yeah, and they came up to the window where we were. And they just got real quiet and started kind of looking at me.
Can you say that again, Mom?
I said they were acting up really bad with the other people.
Right, they were acting up really bad with the other people, and I remember because the first exhibit was the lions. Remember that?
Yeah.
Wait, how old are you again, Mom?
What did you say?
I said, ain't you 72?
I'm 75.
Oh, okay. Man, I can't believe you're 75, Mom. I'm 51 almost. That's nuts, huh? That's awesome. I love you, Mom. Yes. So, anyways, now what I'm trying to get at for the people that are going to be in the audience, is that there was something about us that made these animals do what they did, because they didn't do that to nobody else in the zoo. They didn't. You're right. They didn't. And there was, now look, I'm gonna run down the list of animals, and you tell me yes or no if it happened or not, okay? So when we first went into the zoo, the first exhibit was the lions, right? And there were people right in front of us. There was about 6 people, a group of family of 6, and we didn't have an opportunity to see what they were seeing because they were in our field of vision, so we couldn't really directly see the lions. But the lions weren't making no noise or nothing, and they were trying to talk to the lions, and the lions just was sitting there staring at them, right?
Yeah, they were standing there.
Right. And so what happened?
Nothing. When we got up there, they came as close to the gate as they can come.
You remember the male lion? Do you remember the male lion stood up over the female lion? They were both laying down, and the male lion stood up over the female lion, and he started going like this. Remember that?
No, not really.
Oh, well, that's what the lion did. And I kept going back and forth with him. I was playing with him, having fun, because I was like kind of amazed that they were trying to, well, you're saying they came toward us, but I know that the guys started making noises. You probably, because their noise is so loud, you probably didn't realize it was coming.
They didn't come. It wasn't like they came to hurt us. They just got as close to the thing as they could get.
Okay, well, you didn't see.
I remember them like they were trying to talk to us.
Yeah, it was like they were trying to talk to us, right?
Yeah.
See?
They were trying to tell us something.
They was trying to tell us something, right? Okay, so then we walked up a little bit, and remember there were maybe about 200 of those little pygmy deers. Those pygmy deers. They were the real small deers. I can't remember what the name of them, what name they have been given, but they're real small, and they're deers. They're small deer. I can't remember their name, but do you remember that was one of the exhibits? You remember that, right? Okay, yeah, I mean, there's so many exhibits as you walk through there, you're probably only going to remember 1 or 2 specific ones. But what happened is there was about 200 of these little pygmy deer. They started running around into a stampede, and they were swirling around in their little compound, which was right next to the elephants.
Yeah.
And they weren't doing that when we got up to them. Now listen to this. Remember we got to the fish? Those fish that were flat and round?
Yeah.
And they were in that big fish tank?
Uh-huh.
All of those fish when we got to the fish tank, I don't know if you remember this, but all of those fish, they swam right up to the window. They all came right to the window to us.
Yeah.
Wasn't that amazing? Look, dude, this shit's crazy. And they didn't do that to no other people. Because there were people 2 feet away from us walking in front of us, and they wouldn't even swim around the people. They weren't swimming toward the front. As soon as we started to walk toward the fish tank, they started to aim their bodies at us, and they were about a 1/4 inch thick, and they were about as big as your hand wide. They were like 5 inches wide, and they were about a quarter inch thick. And it just was amazing visual effect when you saw all these silver things. Randy, when you saw all these things, they were in a 1,000-gallon tank. 1,000-gallon. And you just saw these huge things swimming toward us. And they stood there and looked at us, and they froze right in the water. They wouldn't even move. Right, Mom?
Yeah.
Amazing. And what about the gorilla? Now, this is the creme de la creme. The gorilla's the creme de la creme to me. So, what'd you say? Yeah, I remember that. You remember? So what happened with the gorillas? And I'll tell you what I experienced.
Well, he got up and it looked like he was trying to climb out of there.
Yes, I know. And we're gonna free them.
And he had a look on his face like, get me out of here.
Yes. He had a look on his face like, get me out of here. You remember the baby gorilla walked up to me, and I bent down and I put my hand up to the window, and the gorilla put his hand on the other side of the window. You remember that?
Yeah.
He literally put his hand on my hand, didn't he? Do you remember it?
Not all of it. I vaguely remember.
You vaguely, well, yeah, but it's all good. You know that this stuff happened.
Yeah, but I may have been looking at something, trying to learn something else.
Oh, I know what you're saying. Right, you were looking at, right, but you remember the gorilla walked up to me and put its hand on my hand on the glass. And its mother, remember it was on its mother's lap, and its mother wouldn't let it come toward the window, toward anyone else. Now, am I here saying that I'm better than everybody and you're better than everybody? No. But isn't it something how peculiar that situation was? You know, I think this...
We're not better than anybody.
That's right. But you know what that says? Well, what does that say? Like, what do you think that means? What do you think that situation, what purpose was there for that happening? Why did that happen to you?
God uses whoever he wants.
You said what?
For whatever he wants to use it for.
God uses whoever he wants to use for whoever he wants.
Whatever he wants to use. For whatever he wants to use that person for.
So you're saying God's using you or me or us?
We are God's hands. We are God's lips. We're his mouthpiece.
We're God's mouthpiece. His hand. His feet. Okay. Mom, what is all? There's a lot of what's that? Sorry to interrupt you.
I just say God can do anything he wants to do.
God can do anything you want to do. Yeah.
He's the sovereign God.
You're right about that. I understand, why you're saying it that way, and I'm okay with it at the moment. Perfectly okay with it.
What? What you mean you're okay? Well, you better be okay with it.
Well, Mom, listen, this is perfect.
This is not the
This is perfect. This is perfect right here, bro, because this is getting aired. I love you, Goddess. Mom, you know how I perceive our reality. I perceive our reality from the inside out and not the outside in. So I deal with consciousness, and I deal with awareness and intelligence and intellect and logic. And I deal with consciousness and unconsciousness, innocence and guilt, light and darkness, right and wrong. That's what I deal with. But so if God runs into that, onto any of those tracks, in any of those strands, hey, I'm all for it. But Mom, you know what? I really appreciated you to tell me that you were witness to all those things, witness to the beginning of what I know to be my enlightenment, and of course, the proof of the magnetic attraction that we have with all life around us. They say, hey, you're attracted to that person. They're magnetic, but they don't tell you what that magnetic. When someone tells you you're magnetic, what does that mean to you? By the way, if I can ask that question, what does it mean to you?
God never told me I was magnetic.
Have you ever heard of magnetic attraction? Do you know what that's all about?
No.
You never, but I'm sure you heard of it, right? How a person's attractive, right?
Something about that. I don't remember, but I've heard that before.
Yeah, well, they don't tell us too much about, our electrochemical magnetic reality in this side of the matrix anyway, so. But,
well, once in a while, I watch that show on TV. It's called Origin.
Origin?
Origin.
Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah.
And what do you learn there?
So it talks a lot about all about mostly, this earth, the first and the third heaven.
Okay, Mom, we gotta end this interview because the phone's being, Brian.
Okay, well,
No, I just gotta okay, anyways. If there was a break there a minute ago, we're gonna go ahead and end this interview. Mom, once again, you want to say bye to everybody out in the television and radio audience? You want to say bye to everyone? Say bye.
what do you mean by?
Mom,
Hello?
say bye-bye to TV land, and I'll continue talking to you, but I'm taping you right now.
Oh, good, please.
All right, guys, my mom loves you, and I love you too. So let's... Hey, what'd you say? She said she loves you guys. Well, you don't have to leave. I'm just cutting the taping, Mother. So, Queen Goddess, I'll speak to you shortly. Thank you for the interview.
Okay, folks. So, you've had an opportunity to hear my mother, hear her experiences, two experiences that, of course, well, she's experienced several unbelievable experiences with me throughout my life. And the two that we're speaking on today are an experience at the zoo. Actually, 10 years after my enlightenment development process began, after the information that you see here, after I began transcribing the conversations that were that I was having with our guardian high side. And of course, I also want to acknowledge at this moment the guardians, the High Council of the Crystal Keys, the Order of the Crystal Keys, the High Council of the Order of the Crystal Keys. Folks, it is my honor to be able to work as hard as I am at this moment, and have been working for the past year on trying to assemble all of this information and to put it together in a nice package, combining information that by happenstance I thought, hey, this will go great in a show if I ever did it. There's more to come, more surprises to come, but these all combined have added up to an unbelievable moment. You're all a part of it. I'm a part of it. And you and I are a part of a moment that is changing so drastically on a magnetic level that you are going to be amazed at the unfathomable reality that you will have the opportunity to experience. If you only do what I'm asking you, folks. Folks, it's not hard. It is not hard to save the only planet you have by applying some discipline to your life. Applying discipline. You already know and you're already aware of the reality that you are a powerful being. Your pets are powerful. They affect you to a degree emotionally that leads you to just do anything and everything you can. Your children, they do the same thing. Your parents, your friends, folks, you are powerful. And it's time for you to know who you are. It's time for you to know where you are, why you are, what you are, and when you are. Here on the Worldwide Paradigm Shift Show. And we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to explain to you what happened in my early enlightenment at 33 years old. Actually, this was the onset of my enlightenment at 33 when I decided I didn't want to live anymore. I was totally just through with living. And I felt no need to go on. Of course, you all are aware of that. So I of course, decided that I would go ahead and just end my life, commit suicide. Ladies and gentlemen, to tell you the truth, the most amazing reality is now mine as a result of it. And I'd like to go ahead and begin to tell you exactly what's actually going on in your reality. I'm going to go ahead and take one intermission. I'll let you go ahead and get into the music. And just give me a minute, please. I just got to wet my whistle. Thank you very much.